On here from Srkcycles.com with a 2012 Suzuki GSXR 600 with a custom paint job and a lot of cool carbon fiber wrap. Look at that, carbon fiber. It's not real carbon fiber, but it looks like it. Check this thing out, it's a good looking bike. I'm a big fan of the Suzuki GSXR. I have one myself. This one is lowered a little bit. You see it's lowered in the front about 1.5 inches. I gotta look, see if it's lowered in the back. It does feel low though. I like these bikes. They're tough, they're powerful, fairly inexpensive, tons of parts for them, tons of aftermarket stuff. Now, anytime I ride one of these, I have to tell you what my goal is. My goal is not to show you how fast I can ride on the street. That's absolutely not my goal. My goal is, one, to try to convince you not to buy this bike, and to show you that, hey, it runs good. It runs the way it should. It bangs through all the gears. Nothing goofy about it, you know? But most of the time, I'm just gonna try to convince you why you shouldn't buy this bike. As much as I love motorcycles and selling motorcycles and going into hyperspeed, I value life even more. And if you're a beginner rider, this is not your first bike. Don't buy this bike. It will kill you. Coffins, dead people, skeletons, all that stuff. Think about that when you're considering buying this bike for your first bike. I had a guy once tell me, he's like, "You're a horrible salesman. You're talking about all this death and dying and wrecking on this bike." I'm like, I'm like, forget being a salesman. I'm a rider. The guy who's gonna buy this bike, he's ready for the bike. He's been riding for a little while. He knows what he's doing. I'm not gonna talk him out of it. Now, if you're wondering why that took so long, we were in 5th gear. We were basically going from like a 10-mile-an-hour rolling start to 5th gear. These bikes are powerful. You know, these things are like 0 to 60 in sub 4 seconds. If you know what you're doing. If you do if you change the gears, strap down the front end, and you know what you're doing, these are 9-second quarter-mile bikes. You have to know what you're doing though. That's not easy. It's definitely not easy to hit 9 seconds on a 600. But they definitely have the power to do it. Guys, these are great bikes. The 600 Super Sport bike's a lot of fun to ride. I love riding these things. But I was riding for a little while before I got one. And a lot of my friends, I got them for the first bike, they wrecked them or they died. Straight up died. I hate seeing that stuff. You have to have a healthy fear of a bike like this. If not, it's gonna get you in a lot of trouble and a lot of death. Now, you notice with some of my other bike rides, I can actually full throttle the bike. I can, with that Sportster 1200, on this straightaway right here, I tacked it out every gear up to 4th gear, and I full throttle it the entire time. I'll be lucky if I won't be able to full throttle this for, see, now I'm already into a turn. powerful bike like this, and you're going slow, and you're, you know, every tiny little twist of the throttle is doing a whole lot more. It's moving, it's controlling a whole lot more horsepower. And that's what I mean about, you know, the whole beginner bike. It's not a beginner bike. Is it a lot of fun? Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I love riding these things. This is the same bike, not this actual bike, but the GSXR 600 is the same bike that I take to the track. I love it. I mean, it doesn't feel fast anymore to me, but, you know, doing track days and riding sport bike is not an adrenaline sport. It's a finesse, it's a dance. You know what you're doing. Your heart's not pumping the whole time. If your heart's pumping the whole time, you're doing it wrong, or you're doing something stupid. Even as those guys that like stunt and stuff like that, their adrenaline's not cracked up and their hearts aren't pumping crazy the whole time, because when that happens, you can't think straight. Guys, this is a great bike. It runs very well. It's got good tires on it. Check out the walk around video. And this thing's gonna be for sale. It's gonna sell fast. I sell these GSXRs really fast. People love them. Great bikes. If you like this video, subscribe. If you like my channel, also subscribe. Alright guys, it's Sean signing out. Remember, it's not what you're riding, but where you going.